So ang sawa na kaming makipaglaban sa relegations. Kaya sa PGS Summer Split, abangan nyo ang Team Manila Eagles sa playoffs.
Good evening everyone and welcome back to the Bacchus Pro Gaming Series 2017 Summer Split. We'll be your casters for the last match. I am Vulcan and joining with me is Atlas.
Of course, all of the games, all of the matchups for today, the first day of Summer Split have been pretty explosive. We've got a revenge match between ACA and G1, rather now Infuse, and we also have a little matchup between Jengski and Mineski. Now we have a battle between brothers, Kane and Abel. Is going to be TME, Team Manila Eagles versus Imperium Pro Team, or IPT.
So, to give you a brief history, Team Manila Eagles was first IPT Blue, then it became Cerberus, and after that, I'm not pretty sure of the order, but now, as far as I know, they've been rebranding a lot of times. Right now, known as Team Manila Eagles. So, going on to the schedule. The last match, the third match is a two-game series between the sister teams. And I think you have an interesting fact for us, Atlas.
Oh yeah, this fact was given to us
by the coach, by the owner of IPT.
Is that Suzaku is on TME. Never in history has a team with Suzaku in it beaten a team with JLC in it. This has actually been the pattern. We'll see if it will break. The curse will break for this matchup.
So this is what I like about sister teams. They've been screaming for their practices. So right now, screaming, as in they've been playing against each other.
Yes, they've been practicing against each other.
So right now, how will it turn now? This time it has bearings. So this is more of a competition for them. I mean, it's healthy for them to at least showcase what they've got.
Yeah, definitely. Coming into this Summer Split, of course, they have a lot of time to practice. They have a lot of time to practice against each other, prepare their own secret strats that they haven't shown to the other team. So we're going to see all of that culminating here. Of course, we're still running the match and win promo for this match. We will have one final code for you guys. So just guess. It's the missing character is either A to Z or 0 to 9.
Yeah,
so you got to watch out for that.
That's a huge guess, but that's the fun part of it. And for you, for asking where you should put the code, you know it yourself. It's the redeem a code in your low client.
Yeah.
So
you have around a random guess. You have around a 3% chance of winning. But if you get that, you will get that 250 RP skin for free. Yeah.
So it's pretty worth it. It's a guessing game.
I mean, you don't lose anything.
You don't lose anything, but you lose your patience. Like every time you try and refresh, you spam it so much that there might be a cooldown for it. But yeah, going for today's last match. It's, in my opinion, the feature match of the game. So before that, we've had two matches so far. Let's go and see the standings.
And both of them have been 2-0s. 2-0 in favor of Mineski and then 2-0 in favor of Infuse. We're going to see, I think this one might be a little more equal in terms of their skill, in terms of what score they might have. So it might be a 1-1, but still, you know, it is PGS. A real test of skill for our teams. Might even go for a 2-0. We're going to see.
Yeah, and we did see from the last match of Game 2, that was pretty explosive. I mean, Jensky did have a chance from Game 1, but the momentum that Mineski had from Game 1 was just too much.
True.
But yeah, that's how it concluded the second match. So that was a short recap of our previous game. If ever you did miss it, we have our websites for the recaps there.
We have the YouTube channel for the VODs. Just watch them. The thing is, since they are VODs, you can just review them. Learn a lot, because you can learn a lot from these pro games. Whether you're from Bronze, all the way up to Challenger, there's a lot you can learn from these pro games.
So, Atlas, how do you feel about it? I mean, this is interesting. Sister teams. That's so much highlight already.
Yeah, this already. And I think we've had a lot of these really good players here. Suzaku, I've seen him like really high in the Challenger ladder. IPT Light is also, I think, one of the best mid laners in the history of League of Legends here in the Philippines. So coming into this game, there's really a lot of history between these two, just from, of course, them being sister teams, and also the players themselves. Like we have Suzaku, we have Light, we have the GLC Trip, all of these guys.
Suzaku has never won a game when there is GLC.
Yeah, now GLC is running with the Manila Eagles, and now Suzaku is running with IPT. So that might mean history would dictate that TME would win here, but this is a team game, 5v5. We're going to see how all of that culminates coming here into this game. Of course, let's get into the drafting phase of Team Manila Eagles versus Imperium Pro Team. The first bands against, all against Kulit here. Rather, 2 against Kulit, 1 against Hate. The Ash will be taken away. Huge utility disabled for IPT. On the other hand, IPT blocking away a flex jungler top lane in the Gragas, and then as well as flex mid lane top lane in the Galio. I have also, as Arctic mentioned, some teams have been running Galio support scrims.
Huge ban on utility-wise. So going on to IPT's side, they'll be locking in Hate's Varus, where we did see that in the the finals of the PGS Spring Split.
That is quite a lot of patches ago. We're gonna see if it still holds water here.
So right now, I will be seeing
another Jarvan.
Oh yeah.
You really love seeing that Jarvan there, don't you?
Yeah.
Might be going for the top lane, might even go jungle.
You wish there was a Gangplank in competitive, but there is a reason why you don't see it.
Yeah, because it's terrible in competitive. Really works in solo queue, but not in compe. So we're gonna see here. Probably going to be raw on that Lulu. Yeah, it's surprising that IPT left the Lulu open, of course. It seems like 2 other bans here. Of course, Zac is almost insta-ban at this point of the season, but Gragas Galio seems to be more in priority for IPT than banning out the Lulu. It seems like they will be pulling out Shadow onto that Zyra.
They are removing Suzaku's lineup here. I mean, a Rumble, a Jace, a Kled, and a Cannon. Same as for JLC, he did pick up some of these champions, but I think it's more of a heavy ban onto Suzaku. So let's see who will be their top laner for IPT. And I hope on healthy competitive side with the sister teams.
Yeah, it seems like the Shen will be the pickup for the Manila Eagles. We might be seeing something else. Maybe even a Renekton could be possible here for IPT. That is a possibility. It fits decently with the composition. But there's a lot of top lane bans.
Yeah, JLC is known for these aggressive top laners.
Ooh, the Fizz is also something that can work very effectively.
This is very interesting. Will Suzaku finally, break? I mean, will JLC ever?
Yeah, will Suzaku still keep the curse?
Yeah,
he is on that teleport ignite, so has a lot of kill pressure against JLC on that Shen. But of course, the biggest problem here, the first thing that I see is that they don't have a reliable tank, and they don't have super reliable engage.
Who needs a tank when you have an Ivern?
Yeah, the Ivern does bring out a lot of shields. When Suzaku goes in, has the trigger seed as well to help him out, and they even have a secondary tank in the hands of Kulit as well, with Daisy duking it out in the middle of everyone. But of course, JLC and Koops will also be dealing lots of damage, as well as tanking lots of hits for their teams on that Shen, on that Jarvan.
So how will this play out in the mid lane? Syndra is an Irie, obviously pre-level 6. The Syndra will have a difficult time, but in terms of mobility, that's removed from the Irie when you account for the Sky the Weak with that huge AoE stun area.
Yeah, if he's not able to dodge it quickly enough, like at this point, Scatter the Weak, you should be able to predict when Light wants to go for it. So Trevor will have to not just react, but also like predict when he'll be going for that. So that is a possibility, but of course Trevor running that Ignite might be a little problem for Light if he's not careful.
Very nice drafts coming in for these both sister teams. Who would you bet, who would you rely on this time? Who do you think has a higher chance from this drafting alone, Atlas?
I like the balance that TME's composition has. They have assassination potential from Trevor, as well as even their jungler could access a secondary damage dealer with lots of burst. That is one of Jarvan's main strengths. They have a lot of protection with JLC on that Shen, as well as decent utility, really great utility on that Lulu, as well as added onto with the safety of that Xayah, because Xayah is able to just dodge out completely, possibly dodging out the Unleashed power. So that's one target that you can't really be careful around, that you have to be careful around in terms of Light's ultimate, because a Feather Storm can dodge out so much. Of course, we'll be loading onto the Rift in a little while.
And that has been our featured matchup. IPT Light, one of the strongest mid laners in the history of PGS. But let's see it in action right now. Game 1 against IPT versus TME.
That is, as you said, these are sister teams, very closely related. As in just last split, we saw JLC there on top lane for IPT. Now he's on TME right now. And it's just a switcheroo all around for these rosters. Of course, we'll be seeing how all that culminates as our teams play out their level 1s. Seems like IPT might be going for an invade to get some vision down against TME.
I mean, this is something you would expect from a team who, when you face for the first time, but this is a team we're talking about that they have been practicing against each other. They know their pattern, their strategy. So how will it play out? They might have a secret strategy.
Yeah, it seems like they're just there waiting in the wings, try and see if TME goes for an invade for the vision. Doesn't seem like they will be catching someone out. Just a little bit of few pings there, just guarding their entrances of their jungle. TME going for just a standard line of scrimmage here, so there's not a lot of safety, and because IPT was not able to catch someone off, going for the invade because TME didn't go for it, it will just go back to the regular lanes.
Yeah, in terms of jungling, I would bet on the Ivern that he will be faster, more healthy clear compared to the Jarvan who has high clear but not that healthy.
Yeah, definitely.
Takes too much time.
Takes a lot of time because after his initial burst, this goes for both jungle camps and for champions when he's ganking, is that after his initial burst, his damage is just... Because after that, the damage is just gone.
Yeah, I mean...
he does have a huge burst combo, but after that, it's very hard to follow up and finish off kills.
Yeah,
and the camps as well.
In terms of performance, he's only good in the first 3 minutes, then he's done. So, in short, as to Atlas said, Jarvan really struggles when it comes to continuous damage.
His endurance really isn't there in terms of damage. But he does have the Demacian standard to help him out in his clear. But still, not quite on the same level that Ivern can bring out.
You can see the Trevor checking out the sides. He knows there's an Ivern. I can expect some ganks coming in from Kulit. But interestingly, Kulit will have a hard time ganking because of the recent nerfs to the Ivern's clear. Health-wise?
Yeah, health-wise, his clear is much weaker now, but still able to put down a lot of those groves. He just has to recall right here to make sure those groves just charge up. So, but that's still a huge nerf. It's like from 20% to 33%. Around that, it's actually huge because that brings the amount of camps you can turn into groves from like 4 or 5 to 3. So, super low.
So right now, Atlas, a personal question for you. Who do you think is the better ADC in these two teams? They're sister teams, though. So what do you think? It's rivalry right now. This is... Wait.
I think the red buff is the better ADC.
Yeah, I think the red buff is doing
this
more
is the problem with
Jarvan.
the clear for Jarvan. Is that, and the red buff is going to reset. That's a huge problem in terms of Jarvan's clear. Even if you have the proper runes and masteries, it's quite hard. But coming here for the bot lane,
what do you think?
I do think that Hate has a little bit of an edge here. But coming into the laning phase, I do think that it's 90% the support, and I do peg Shadow as the better support here. But still, it's about the team coordination, about how much Coops can bring out for the team. He is quite behind in the clear though because of the mishap there in the red jungle.
For me, I'm much of a fan of Marky in terms of his mechanics. Godlike for me. I mean, very gifted in mechanics. Marky has been showing a lot of prowess ever since he entered as Celestial Esports.
That's true. Definitely someone to watch out for. These teams are quite close in terms of skill, especially since they've been practicing against each other for a long time. They have a lot of knowledge shared between them. Oh man, Coops!
Oh no!
Might be in trouble.
Flash over the wall by Kulit. Coops gives the first blood to Light.
Banking a little bit too much onto the Demacian standard Dragon Strike combo because that has a small delay before you dash.
Yeah, super.
Should have just flashed. But well, still, Light could have gotten it anyway. So might as well just accept his death there.
So first blood onto Light. I would say, does Light have any buffs from that? I would say it's the blue buff.
Yeah, that's actually huge onto this Syndra, meaning that he can definitely overpower Trevor in terms of his wave clear. Look at that double buffs even. So any sort of trade, against Trevor will be in favor of Light because he has the health regen for the red buff, the burn as well, and
wow.
the blue buff.
And he can do it just like that.
Over and over.
Over and over. He won't get tired. And now,
look at Colette. Yeah, he's really threatening out Coops. Coops might be in danger once again.
Oh man, that would be a flash out for Coops. Split second decision, well made. Does not want to give any more kills to Light.
The counter jungling from Colette is on point though. Coops still level 3. Already 1 death. Forced to go, and also because he's Jarvan, his clear, as I said, isn't too stellar. Having to build into that Hunter's Potion. That's actually 350 gold, a little bit down the drain. Because it's a necessity for Jarvan. So
yeah, he's consumed so much mana, not to mention, as you said, does not have enough wave killer, but the Hunter's Potion is very rewarding in the long run.
But in the refillable potion, you get 1 back and you already have the value you get from the 150 in terms of how much health. When you consider health potion as a standard for the price, Hunter's Potion recovers throughout your clears, but a lot of junglers are just satisfied with just the refillable potion, and Jarvan is one of those few junglers that need the Hunter's Potion. So,
I don't.
Maybe not need, but it's really because of how much Coops was behind.
Yes.
He needs to be able to build it to keep up, because the jungle camps are going to scale up with average level, and if Coops is behind, it's still going to be hard for him.
Easy 112 gold just for Colette. I mean, every time there is actually a competitive gameplay going on, people would offer
Coops once again.
a ban on the Ivern, but Coops is kind of getting tired of getting singled out, but the flash would save his life. Same as the Stan United. Trevor is there, level 6, but does not want to commit.
Yeah, that is quite a clutch Stand United.
Looks like
there.
they've spotted the weakest link. Coops.
Yeah, Coops so far has just been getting denied. Even though he didn't die there, that's still a lot of time taken away from when he's clearing, when he's ganking. And he only has 15 compared to Colette's 31. And
also, he has a boots of mobility for Ivern. So, more utility, more frequency.
Around.
Yeah, and right now.
Around. And because he doesn't actually technically get into combat in the jungle, that Mobi Boots buff boost to the movement speed is just going to go on forever until he gets into a gank or tries to take Cloud Drake. It's a really good item on this Ivern.
Really, we're seeing a standoff, but if Coops will be giving his blue buff to Trevor, which is beneficial, but this will leave Coops so behind.
Yeah, in terms of
experience goal. Look at Colette right now, level 6, already ready to call in Daisy.
Yeah, just get that brawl in with Daisy, and at this point, Daisy would be able to 1v1 Coops. Because, yeah, and Colette has been doing such a good job working with Light to make sure that Coops cannot get those ganks out, cannot get this pressure. And imagine, if Coops did have the pressure, imagine how more easy this DLC top, how much harder for Suzuki this top lane would be if Coops had just gotten his level spikes, his gold, his XP.
Very true.
Teams here in the bot lane. Colette looking for something.
Steady.
Yeah, Daisy is ready, so if they want to go for a dive.
Coops is ready, but not ready enough. Level 5 only. So I don't think they should be clashing.
Yeah.
I mean,
they could go for a gank, but there's no need to force this bot lane because it's just Cloud Drake. It's just one Cloud Drake. It's not super impactful.
Atlas, it's not just the Cloud Drake. It's pride.
It's pride. That is a factor to consider.
Man, come on. It's not just the Cloud Drake. It's that bragging rights that you have to your sister team. But
you know, that could apply to any lane they're ganking without having to force things. But of course, yeah, they do pull away from that bot lane. Do not want to force things too much. Because a loss in that fight would put their jungler and their bot lane behind.
It's like this, Atlas. You see a Cloud Drake. You know what they see? Glory. Like, I am the team that was able to,
I love it,
to go for that Drake while you guys just sit and watch.
Oh, I love it.
It's out of movement's combat speed in this game, but it's something else, another buff in the real life scene.
That's what's going on in the cognition of our teams. We're going to see how all of that plays out, though. It seems like both of our junglers have kind of rotated away from that bot lane. Might be the top lane, their next target.
Wow, this game is really being played safely, but they're really calculating their
Oh,
movement.
Coops once again
Right
gets caught out.
Yes, he
Oh,
does take the bait. Here comes Suzaku from the top lane. JLC cannot make it in time. He does stun Light, securing a kill for himself, but Daisy is there for the nuisance, flashing out, same as Cool Lit on the JLC. Now under the turret, that would be an extended team fight. JLC still not backing down. He does after Wild Growth plays onto him.
Yeah, in the end, this is still a 1-for-1, but look at that substantial wave that TME has in the mid lane.
Oh,
Shadow
no.
will have to be pulled here for the wave clear. He
Not
can't
the
do it.
first turret. I gotta get the first turret first, but look at that.
Oh, dear.
Overcommitment coming from Colit. That was Wild Growth was not enough.
Might be JLC
And
betrayed
now-
for that, though.
And he does have the Spirit's Refuge and the shield. He is sustaining a lot, but the blast code a bit too late. Shadow will be killing off before he can escape.
That is a 1-for-1 still, but the good thing here for IPT is that the turret is defended, though it is chunked down to half health.
2-3 score, chunk down to half health. Pretty good start for IPT. TME is catching up though. I mean, 2k gold lead, not too big. And you gotta hand it to the bot lane. Marky on that Xayah. I'm really interested to see how he will use that Xayah.
Yeah, because Xayah, she requires a lot of setup, similar to Kalista and Twitch combined. And the way that all that is that she needs to set down her feathers. And I think Marky, as you said, is mechanically apt enough to make use of that to its full potential. We're going to see how it plays out, because looking at both of their starts, the Doran shield starts for both Marky and Hate imply that they kind of want to go for a slower bot lane, while the rest of the rest of the lanes are kind of going more fast-paced. Lots of ganks from Kulit onto mid lane. So they're really banking on being left alone there in the bot lane for a while.
And Goops is easily, steadily catching up. He is running the Thunderlord's Decree, which is a good keystone if you are snowballing. But if you're very behind, that is more of a setback. You won't be tanking enough. You need to build more defensive item like the Black Cleaver.
It's definitely not something that, not a situation where Kups wants to be caught in.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for TME, he is right now. But the good thing about this is the deficit for that isn't too big, in the sense that Light isn't really super snowballing. And despite Kulit focusing so much around the mid lane, still no huge snowball. Still 2 kills at 12 minutes. Still lots of restraint for both of these teams.
And Goops is aiming for a gank in the bot lane, but
Gets revealed by the plant.
gets revealed. That's a shame.
It's like it's like a ribbon to the power of Shadow there in the bot lane. Already the Zyra deals so much damage and has a lot of kill pressure, and this disengage from the Stranglethorns as well. He has that. She has that ability to face check and put down vision as well naturally. Very useful.
Yeah, very useful indeed, but for teleport-wise, Suzaku will have the advantage. So, if the fight does break out in the bot lane, he'll be there. But
Jumping around, taking kills. Like in the earlier game, it was Fizz mid lane for Mineski versus Jenski, but still it still applies here. He has a teleport, he has a kill pressure, so they have to respect that.
Trevor is doing pretty well against Light, but in terms of gold advantage, 2-1, that's huge. He did finish up the Sorcerer Boots, so he is very wary of Trevor. But right now, Coops makes the decision to go in, but pays heavily. Here comes the teleport from Suzaku. There's Daisy. JLC joined in with the Stan United. Members are backing away. Rocks forcing out his flash. Suzaku still going in. Will there be a clash? No, a disengage from both teams.
Seems like that will just be the flash gun from Shadow. Not a lot of anything gained there, actually. The teleport is burned for Suzaku, which is big. Trevor actually burns his ultimate, threatening Light out. He wants that blue buff. Suzaku trying to help out his mid laner here. It's a little bit of presence for pressure.
Oh boy, here comes
dear.
Coops, goes into the Cataclysm. Hayden will manage to flash out, but not enough damage coming in from Coops. He does get taken out with Marky. Free to hit, and that is a kill, plus an assist for Marky.
Hate, though, getting a kill, but this does signal IPT to go for the Rift Herald. They might be going for it, actually. Actually, no, there's just a few pings from there. Kulit is way too far away.
Yeah, well, in terms of trade-wise, Coops did sacrifice his life to give a lead off to Marky. That's free worth for him, same as an assist. So right now we're going to be seeing maybe an Essence Reaver coming in from Marky.
Yeah, the Cautious Warhammer and VF Sword do signal that. Very useful item. Has the CDR and the crit, which synergize so well with Blade Caller.
And mana-wise.
Just able to keep spamming those spells. Never run out of mana for Blade Caller. Seems like they will be getting first turret of the game.
TME getting the first turn against the IPT.
This does equalize the gold, and I like how they left, how JLC and Ro left to give all of the gold solo to Marky.
Yeah, that's the amount of trust they placed on their ADC and the potential that he can carry the team towards the late game. But going for score-wise, very even. And for Drake, it's still up for grabs. Not any member right now is going for it. Not really worth.
It's not a huge priority here. The bigger target is the Rift Herald. They have to pay attention to that objective if they can. If either of these teams leave themselves open, and then there's nothing to get other than the Rift Herald, that will be a priority.
And wow, JLC already picking up the Titanic Hydra, where Suzaku just picks up the Sheen. Chavis and Abamison, there's still no Sunfire coming in yet. He does have the Bond of Stone Keystone.
Just able to get a lot of healing for the rest of his team. And yeah, because the way the tank build for Fizz itemizes, it is natural for him to not build as much big items from the get-go, because he has to build both that Sheen and that Bomby Cinder to survive in lane. So his first completed item is a little bit delayed, but he will be getting in a little bit. Sunfire Cape recipe is the only thing that he needs to buy now.
And thanks to the Sunfire Cape itself, it's going to be a lot of help in terms of wave clear. And going on to the top side.
It's actually Grasp of the Undying, because I was actually surprised that that's the Stoneborn pack. The interface is actually incorrect. It is Grasp of the Undying. I was seeing it healing him while in lane, so that is going to be a pickup here.
So okay, that will be the Grasp of the Undying instead of the Blood Stone pack. So Goops right now looking for a attack, and he does go into hey, there is no flash left for him. He is dead. Rox picks up the kill, and now Marky gets another 202. Essence Reaver completed, a lead for TME.
And yeah, even though Coops was heavily behind in terms of the gold, he has caught up a little bit with the assists as well. And even even if Coops has no gold, the Cataclysm does not scale from anything. Rather, the wall of the Cataclysm doesn't scale with anything. Yes. So even if he's behind, the value from that terrain is actually huge.
Not just that, the follow-up from Rox with the Wild Growth synergizes so well. You knock them up once with the Damascene Standards. Then there is that Lulu to follow it up with a double knock-up and giving Marky so much time to spam those feathers, get it sent in time, and call it back.
And they get 2 turrets from that, actually, which is basically the equivalent of what you want from a Rift Herald. Look at that, the decisiveness. Look at the combo. Knock up, the burst coming from Cataclysm, Wild Growth into a Feather Storm allows so much burst coming from all 3 of these champions, plus that Shen helping them out.
So imagine that in a large scale. Let's say Jarvan, Coops, managed to lock down 4 enemies with a knockup, and there's that Lulu ult. Very small circle, that's an instant knockup. Imagine that.
And all of that is just a setup for the Orb of Deception and all of the feathers getting called back onto Marky. He's 2-0-2, quite a bit ahead of Hate.
In terms of item-wise too, I mean, look at the 2 items already locked in for him. Whereas Hate just has to play the Rune King and a Ninja Tabi. I wonder what Marky's goods is going to be.
It's probably going to be in a Ninja Tabi as well. No, actually, no, it's not going to have too much damage. Berserker's Greaves would really help him put out his feathers out. He has decent enough protection coming from JLC and Ro as well, so he doesn't need the Ninja Tabi as much. After all, the only real auto-attacking champion is Hate and Suzaku as well. A little bit with his Grasp of the Undying as well as his Sea Stone Trident.
Yeah, not to mention the Spirit's Refuge is going to be very useful in teamfights where it blocks basic attacks. So comp-wise, TME does have the advantage, but bursting for IPT. Light is still there.
Oh man, seems like they're going for the siege here with Daisy out.
Daisy, there's a stun landing onto Coops.
Rest in peace.
Not even last.
Now it's going to be Suzaku pushing this bot lane as well. I don't think JLC will get here in time. Meanwhile, IPT still continuing their siege. Oh no, Daisy, what are you doing? Oh, rest in peace, Daisy.
No.
Oh, the trigger
he's going
seed.
for it.
Yeah. But this does leave IPT a little bit more open to go for this mid lane. Suzaku.
I like how JLC always intercepts Suzaku.
Yeah, Suzaku almost getting that turret gold. Intercepts him just in time. I didn't think he would get there in time.
I mean, from the trivia you just said, Atlas, look at that. Not giving in. He will really. Look at it. The turret is not. It's very low. He is not
yeah, the Tiamat.
giving it.
The Ravenous, the Titanic Hydra doing a lot of work against Suzaku so he can't get to this turret.
So yeah, that would be a Cloud Drake for IPT, securing the first Drake of the game 20 minutes in. So at this point in time, we won't be seeing much of the Drakes having too much impact because the next Drake will be another Cloud. Mistakenly, it's a Mountain Drake, so it's really beneficial. So
that will be a priority.
So maybe this is like a way that it opens up an opportunity for TME. They didn't risk anything. IPT didn't risk anything also, but they were able to get a Cloud Drake.
Yeah, it was a trade-off. In terms of the value, the turret is worth a lot more gold and stats and converted stats than the Cloud Drake. But it does leave open the spawn for the Mountain Drake later in the game.
I just love how JLC plays in the top lane. Now, the turret was very low. He is not caving in and still pressuring. This is how he played in the last split. Always offering pressure, and he knows he can always join the fight when it breaks out with the Stan United.
Even if he has his teleport now.
Yes, and Suzaku can't do anything about it except using his ultimate. So that's a waste also.
It's a huge cooldown burn. The best he can do is actually to just match the teleports. But that burns his own teleport, while GLC probably will have his up. It is on cooldown right now, but it will get off cooldown in about 30 seconds.
Very interesting itemization coming in from Marky. Look at that. Berserker Greaves was completed instead of a Ninja Tabi. So as we said,
no real need for the Tabis.
Yeah. So who has the better boots? Who has the better shoes in the game? Tabi or Greaves?
Well, I'm a weeaboo, so I like Ninja Tabis. JK. The thing here is that Hate needs to go Ninja Tabis because Koops is there, GLC is there, Marky as well. Lots of auto attack threats. On the other hand, Marky is quite comfortable building that Zersk Greaves because he has the safety of the rest of the composition as well as the enemy composition, the IPT composition. The only real auto attack threat is Hate, so the Ninja Tabi passive won't have as much value.
Oh no,
Koops might be in trouble now.
Again gets caught by IPT. Here comes JLC, but will make it in time. Lots of investment onto Koops. Very late. JLC made it in time, but Trevor is still looking for the right time to go in. He does charm Light very close to death, but gets healed and barrier. He's going for a second. Wow, that is great rotation for Trevor. Flanking him from the side. Flash is being burned from IPT. Also by Trevor trying to go away. Kulitzo trying to make some room.
Blast cone.
But the blast cone yes, that's a blast cone for death. Mark is left alone. He does not have enough health plus an ultimate. It is burned.
That's going to be a 3-for-2 in favor of IPT.
Wow, Trevor with the flank, with the Irie.
Really good flank there. And no matter where Light went, he would have died after that rotation of Charm and the rest of his spells. But in the end, IPT get that a kill ahead. But the thing is that they don't get an objective out of it. They can't even get this mid lane turret. Let's break that down. Yeah, Koops here gets caught. And no matter how many resources they put on him, Light will destroy him. And look at Trevor here. The patience to just wait for Light to leave himself open. So now Light can't go DPS in the front, near the middle of the line. And now JLC, as soon as he gets taken down, the threat of Light gets taken down, JLC decisively goes in there with his taunt. And this is a really funny blast
This
cone
is very
there.
interesting, not to mention Trevor was alive after all this. So his value just increased without giving any bounty so far. Right now it's a KD of 101. Very clean so far, but for Light, he already has that Banshees and Morello.
Oh man, that's a lot of protection against Trevor's charm as well. So the Banshee's Veil being turned into an AP item after that small rework on that item is actually so huge.
Yes.
Gives these champions a lot more ability to block out against these assassins like what Trevor is playing right now.
He's playing the sneaky game.
Yeah, it's trying to go sneaky.
Oh, boy.
Hate will be in a lot of trouble, but it seems like he's not pushing his luck.
let him. I mean, curiosity. Bait in
Oh
that.
no!
Oh!
No, he listened to you. No.
Yes.
Oh, but
Go
the rest
in.
of his team
The
is
CS
there though.
It's more important. Go for the CS.
That will be Row getting
But
taken
yes,
down
he
though.
does get taken down. I'm very interested to see how Hate manages to survive in the top lane.
Oh, he actually wins the
wow.
fight.
Slap to the face.
I really want to see a replay of how
Yes.
that happened. See, this is why I think
What?
nothing.
Oh my god. Baited by the CS, but outplayed by in terms of damage
Yeah.
by Hate.
Because 3-2-3 compared to 1-1-1, it's actually ahead in terms of itemization here.
And that's the charm of the waters gone for Shizaku. And not to mention, Rocks should really be careful on how he passed. You have to expect that IPT is everywhere. You
Yeah,
see
they
him
really wanted to pick these pickoffs.
Yeah.
They have Fizz, they have Zyra, they have Syndra, and they have the Ivern too. To really, let's look at how that fight happened here.
Oh,
he got charm and he still won.
Look at all that.
Look at the lifesteal. And I really like how he rotated between putting down blight stacks and then detonating them with his spells. That was clean. He was charmed and he still won that. Man. And now he's going to get a QSS, so it's going to be even harder to lock him down.
Wow. Just wow.
Yeah.
You would expect that Light, one of the greatest mid laner in BGS, just got out, but he had full health. But the stacks were just so painful.
Yeah, the blight stacks, the DPS, the lifesteal as well. A lot of AD carries would have died there.
But
even AD carries in Diamond, Master, Challenger would have died there.
Challenger.
The fine Master.
I don't think Diamond counts. Master to Challenger. Against
Whatever.
Light. We're talking about Light here.
No. Trevor.
Ah,
and Hate.
okay.
Yeah, any other AD carry outside of the PGS would have died there.
So right now the Mountain Drake is offered gas for both teams. It's mine.
Yeah, they definitely want to take this. It is a huge objective.
Who's is it? Lights manages to stun no one. JLC, a B2 team. Light over the wall trying to burst anyone down. Hate has the terrain advantage, and TME is still running away because IPT, as I said, has the terrain to work in their favor. The Mountain Drake is very low in health.
It's resetting.
Cooks is gone. No smite available. And JLC goes in with a three-man taunt. Marky will try to set up the arrows, and JLC is just not going back yet. Very close call for Suzaku, and no burst yet coming from Trevor.
Will they give up this Mountain Drake, though? It is a huge key Drake, and that's going to be the redemption to reset their health. Still going for it.
Come on.
This might still be an opportunity.
No
smites for either team.
Yes, it's not just the Mountain Drake, he's on the line.
The Drake's resetting again. But it will be IPT in the end with a control.
In the end, IPT secures 2 Drakes for the game.
I really like how they play that. Despite getting knocked up by Kups and the Wild Growth as well, they had the high ground advantage because Hate was able to free hit Light as well at the back line, able to just freely dish out his damage. I like how he saved his ulti for a guaranteed kill.
The vantage point that IPT had, very good, very well placed. This is what happens when you place in the red side against the blue side. You have that terrain advantage.
Especially against Dragon. When you're fighting for Dragon, when you're dancing around that objective, you do have a little more maneuverability on where safety is.
Man. Looks like some vision is being secured on Minescu's pit. Control wards are placed in for the objective that's up for grabs later.
Oh man. That is going to be the apple of the eye here. No Drake for a few minutes means that Baron will be the next big objective that they will want to play around.
Oh, they're going for Marky. He does have the Guardian Angel, and he also has rocks for that Wild Growth.
Might be the next fight will definitely be around this Baron pit, whether it's starting it or just dancing around it, baiting for vision.
I think it's going to be about dancing for this. I mean, they've known each other so well, practiced so many games with each other.
They can't risk starting it
just
yet.
It's like there is a ward placed all over the map for both teams. They know their rotations on point, and this is why it's so interesting to see sister teams fight against each other in the PGS.
Yeah, let's look at the fight earlier. Yeah, they get a lot of knockups here, but it's just against Daisy. And Hate is still surviving through all of that. Light as well, look at him, just safely behind the terrain. The high ground means that they're able to just completely free hit
Also
without a
for
threat.
Hate.
Yeah, and all of that time, because they were behind the terrain, the aggro of Drake, of the Mountain Drake, was on to
very
TME.
true. And that's very painful too.
It's actually, it's like just breathing rocks at you, right? It's gotta hurt. You gotta get a concussion from that. So, in the end, it's gonna be IPT taking away that team fight plus the Mountain Drake. The biggest thing there is the Mountain Drake.
Also for Suzaku though, from that fight itself,
1-0-5.
yeah.
Pretty respectable KDA, no death, very slippery.
Oh, Coops again with the really. He is the favorite of IPT.
Where is Trevor going? Might be dangerous. Okay, Suzaku just
Said hello.
passes by.
I mean, I gotta hand it to Coops. He is really trying to establish vision, but it's the fact that he always gets caught by IPT.
That is quite dangerous. Because the thing is, this game is still anyone's game. The goal that separates them is 1,000. And Mountain Drake and Cloud Drake aren't really combat stats. So when it comes to a straight-up fight, it's still anyone's game. Depends on who pulls the trigger, who aims better, who is able to get the better initiation or counter initiation. So this is really going to test the nerves of both of these teams. Because there are win conditions here. Let's look at the win conditions. Both of these teams want to go for pickoffs. They have they have an assassin with burst. They have enough lockdown to go for these pickoffs. And if they go for a full-on team fight, their damage and CC is no slouch as well. So it's really an even match completely here.
Yeah, but we also have to take note who has to step up, who didn't perform properly. Obviously, it would be Coops getting out pickups, giving the first blood, double buff to Light, and that's how it transitioned like this. This is why they're having a hard time, because Light had that advantage.
TME would have been quite ahead.
Yes.
Coops was able to pull out a lot of pressure in the early game, but because he wasn't, JLC, Trevor, and Marquis had to be the ones who step up in their own lanes to survive, because Kulit was also having a lot of pressure, especially in the mid lane.
You really have to watch out for Trevor when a clash happens. He will look for an opportunity to flank.
Definitely has to be careful, because he's been flanking very well earlier. So I won't be surprised if he goes for another good angle for a flank later in the game.
And Light is already prepared. He has the Banshee's Veil, but if that's gone, Syndra is pretty easy to burst out when it gets charmed. But right now, I gotta say that TME really is eyeing that Baron, really denying
And really
vision.
establishing the control over this area of the map.
Boy, when Clash does break out, leave it to Marky to sweep the field. He does have really good items so far, Guardian Angel, but Hate should not be underestimated. He did one-on-one Light.
Yeah, that's one of the...
And that hurts.
Yeah, that's...
in here, deep inside.
In the heart.
In the heart.
After all, Trevor is one of those players in this game whose role is to take out Hate. And being 1v1 actually means a lot. But that, of course, that is a 1v1 outplay. It's going to be up to Coops and up to GLC to make sure that Hate cannot outplay.
And JLC coming in to intercept Suzaku.
Once again, he has a lot more wave clear. Yeah, because Trev definitely there's going to be something here for TME. Might be coming around here for the Baron. Infernal Drake will be coming up in 30 seconds.
Yeah, the Infernal Drake will be something you gotta watch out for. Knowing that IPT side, they will benefit so well, especially Light.
Light would definitely be something here. Going for this mid lane. Light might be a little bit of trouble. Trevor will be going for him. The
the
charm.
Flash charm. Stan United is going to help Trevor a lot. So wow, Light's gone. 4 members of IPT left, and look at Marky going at it at Suzaku. So right now the Baron Pit is being established. Dominance for TME with Light out of the picture. This gives them a lot of room.
A lot of room indeed. But of course, this is Infernal Drake, one of the squishiest Drakes. So whoever team gets the jump on this Infernal Drake will be the one who's definitely probably going to take it. Of course, Light is dead for 15 more seconds. They have to be a little bit more careful.
They were just waiting for Light's death timer right now.
Yeah, this definitely this actually leaves TME some time here with Infernal Drake. It will go down very quickly to Marky. He is quite a lot of DPS, and similar to Kalista, Having a lot of feathers down means that he can execute that break quite easily, taking away a few resources from IPT as well. So that is blue buff away from Light. Onto Marky, which means more CDR, more mana for his Blade Callers.
Heavies. He becomes a resourceless champion for now. The feel that you can always spam your feathers.
It has to build
Feels
the
good.
Infinity Edge right now. So that's going to be hurting a lot.
Wow.
Yes, a lot of attack speed. The Ardent Sensor on Ro is on him as well. So all those crits, and the Blade Caller can crit as well. So it's going to be a huge beating against IPT if they got caught in the cone of that Feather Storm and gets instantly taken
Marky has
back.
so much efficiency when it comes to building items. If he gets the Last Whisper item, could be a Giant Slayer or a Mortal Reminder, would be a big trouble for IPT.
Of course, Hate, no slouch as well. Has the Blade of the Ruined King, has the Runaz, Mercurial Scimitar as well. Going to be quite effective in the fight if he gets onto a target. Seems like Baron still the apple of the eye of both of these teams.
Yes.
They definitely do not want to give it to their sister team.
TME.
Now this is a test. Both of them are quite equally matched. So it's going to be a 50-50 smite between Kups and Kulit if they just go for it. So that is the jungler pride for these teams.
Or is it your pride? So right now, as you said, wow, very tense.
Yeah, very tense. Like they're just waiting for an opportunity here.
Now it's gonna be Ivern picked up, and Marky is left to free hit. The Cataclysm is such a huge terrain, and look at Marky going in at Suzaku, and there's the redemption with JLC going for Hate. Trevor does have the Spirit Rush, but goes instead to Hate. That's not gonna be enough. A shot down for the mid laner of TME.
And
now
no chance.
opens up for a Baron.
No chance for a 50-50 because Colette is down for half a minute. And with the Demacian standard, Marky is going to have even faster attack speed to take down this Baron buff along with Kups and the rest of the team. And that face check. I don't know why they face check.
How does it feel now?
I don't know why they face check. They had so many tools to check.
Wow.
If there was someone there. They had
to replay what happened.
This is just clean from TME.
Wow.
There's not much to say from this other than IPT done screwed up. Because the fact here is that they had so many tools to check if there was someone in there and they used none of it. Even though they didn't have any trinket wards, they had piercing arrow. That makes a sound if you hit someone. They had the grasping roots. They also had the root caller from Ivern. So I don't understand why they had to face check that. There was just no reason for that.
And because of this, TME has the first Baron of the game, using it to split push. JLC is very
JLC is going to be very potent here. And Suzaku will not have the same... Look at how slowly those Baron up minions die to the Sunfire kick.
JLC is just ignoring. He just ignored Suzaku like he was more of a minion to him. So right now, plans are being placed down for defense, but as I said, JLC really loves split pushing.
Yeah, it seems like Suzaku cannot even put a dent onto this really tanky JLC, even with his grasp. And this leaves TME open to extend a gold lead from 1,000 after that Baron team fight onto 3,000.
It's like Coops was very mad at that time when he said, "You guys always pick me up. Let me do the favor."
Yeah, he initiates very cleanly. Galiche. So
and also with the play with the Lulu follow, that was so good.
So clean. It was so clean. And all of that stems from IPT really not respecting how TME can just instantly take them down in a flash in a team fight. Because
greatly timed Sonya's coming from Trevor. Now IPT Light is down. He's on a rampage. This is a clash under the turret. Daisy's there for the zoning, but look at the skill shot landing almost all the time.
Oh dear, this is gonna be getting more and more difficult for IPT. If TME gets another turret, that's another 1,000 gold into their pockets, extending their lead to 6k, and then 2 inhibitors on top of that. All of that stemming from that huge throw IPT did near the dot brush on the Baron side. Yeah, it's really mad here. It's like, Kups, you've been taking advantage of my jungle for so long. And then Trevor was like, you 1v1'd me, top lane, outplayed me. Now's our time for revenge. Then IPT, I have to say that they deserve to lose that team fight. Because they definitely did something that you should not have done.
The face check
the
on
face
the
check.
Baron. Especially...
That's a silver mistake.
Yeah, when you're seeing a lineup such as a Jarvan and a Lulu, expect that they
And
will
the
get the
Ahri
jump
as
on you.
well.
Yeah, the mobility that TME has from their draft is very good so
I still
far.
cannot comprehend it because they had so many tools to check it. It wouldn't have hurt to fire out an arrow, a scatter the weak orb, a root caller, a grasping loots, and this leaves TME open with a 6,000 gold lead and 2 inhibitors, 2 nails in IPT's coffin. And because these 2 inhibitors are mid lane, top lane, those are gonna push in really deeply.
Yep.
All that time that they're defending bot lane, mid lane, top lane, the Elder Drake will be up.
Why bother with the nails when you can just dump the coffin into the grave itself? I mean,
Just
that
dump it there with
just dump it there with a sword, and that's what TME is doing. They've been oppressed in the early game, and Coops is feeling the rage. He wants to fight back, and that's
He
what we
really
saw
wants to dive in.
on Baron Pit fight. Yeah, man.
Actually, yeah. Like, why would you need to nail coffins down when the soil is gonna press down the lid? Anyway.
I don't get that.
Anyway, TME is gonna use this opportunity to gather around Elder Drake. Meanwhile,
Oh boy.
Trevor is going to be pushing down that bot lane, has decent wave clear, and he's not really needed there in the Mountain Drake.
Yikes. Aspect
Oh
of the
dear.
dragon onto Marky with a true damage burn.
The burn is the biggest thing here. They don't have any Drakes to speak of, but rather they only have Infernal Drake, which is still actually huge. Plus the burn will be so huge.
What burns more, the aspect of the dragon or TME winning?
Oh,
against
man.
IPT?
With
Oh,
6,000, and this will actually further the curse of Suzaku.
Oh
a team
wow!
with Suzaku
Going
not
back to
winning
the
against
trivia, as you
GLC.
said, Suzaku cannot manage.
They can still win this though, because they
Yeah.
have a lot of damage in their hands. It's just up to not getting caught and spreading their damage around correctly.
Oh boy, that was a close call for Trevor. And yeah, they can't get caught, but I don't think Coops cares anymore. He
he's
has
just gonna
the
go in.
Lulu for the backup, and he also has the shield coming from his W, which scales really well with health. So he's gonna be a tanky beast.
Yeah, if you look at the gold here, they're not that far ahead.
Oh boy,
but still,
here it comes,
that's one of
and
the
wow.
things I was talking about. If they can get the damage onto the right targets,
Daisy's
it's
gone.
roll here.
Oh boy, they have to back away from this. Very dangerous from TME. The chain of corruption has been used, same as Daisy. 2 ultimates down for both teams. But in terms of pressure, yes.
TME is on TME's side here. The super minions are doing so much to prevent IPT from defending this. And look at that brush placement from Ivern here, making sure that they can defend this without having a lot of vision onto them. But that is just going to be the turret going down.
Look at Marky, fearless going in with a flash. There's the cataclysm. Marky goes over the wall, hopping with the ultimate, and that's a cleanse from Hate. Here comes the deep taunt from JLC, popping the Guardian Angel of Suzaku. Wow, Light cannot do anything. JLC is such a huge threat in the front line.
And now that's 3 inhibitors down. It seems like Marky is still hungry for
the
more
Nexus
turrets.
JLC is aiming to really intercept Shadow, but that's 1 turret. Oh god, 2 turrets down. Nexus is exposed.
Cleanly exposed with 3 inhibitors down means that those super minions are gonna do a number against that living crystal. Oh my god. That was such a beautiful taunt flash coming from JLC.
Are you in love?
On the analyst side.
Yes.
Quite.
Yeah man, deep inside the 2 turrets, I never thought he could pull that off.
Yeah, he flashed. Rather, he shadow dashed and then flashed at the end of the shadow dash. And
Wow.
then Hate already thought he was out of dodge.
Yes.
But then the taunt flash caught him out.
The curse is real. Suzaku can't catch a break against JLC.
Oh dear! And like all this time, Suzaku has always been blocked by JLC from pushing the turrets.
Now he's being blocked for a victory, maybe? Perhaps? Not yet. We do not know for sure. But the Baron is live, and I think TME can get this uncontested. The inhibitors did respond.
Yeah, they have respond.
Here it comes. Suzaku.
Raku.
Oh, 2-man knockup. Lift Trevor for a free skill shot range. And now here comes the redemption. That's a very narrow path with Marky smiling against IPT. Here comes the dive in by Coops with a 2-man knockup with a combo from the Demolition Standard. And with 3 members down, TME is just barging in. Hate cleanses out of that charm.
That's still going to be. Oh, look at GLC
Teleport
teleporting
just
there.
in to rub it in. Wow!
Man, and that all stemmed from both Kulit and Suzaku getting caught there.
Wow, Shadow is really having a hard time. But guys, there you
Game
have
one.
it! TME securing a victory against Sisters Team IPT for the first game of our last match.
The curse continues for Suzaku.
Oh man. Is it a curse or is it a stigma? So
Well, TME played that. Both teams really played that super well, but in the early game and mid game. But coming into late game, a lot of unforgivable mistakes from IPT. Face check when they had all the tools to try and check if there was someone there, and then later, it's a lot of times Kulit and Suzaku were getting caught, especially Kulit.
and that's something you expect. Who were the IPT, the team who fought Mineski for the final spot. So careless mistakes coming in from IPT.
Really
TME
careless mistakes.
capitalizing on that, and that's why they won the game.
Really unforgivable mistakes there. I cannot sugarcoat it. I cannot sugarcoat it at all, because those were just mistakes that no pro team should be making.
Checking in, face checking.
Yeah, the face checking was the biggest thing. That was the turning point of the entire game, because that was when TME got the Baron, and the Baron buff was what allowed them to take all of these turrets and even inhibitors.
I wonder what's IPT's game plan to fight back from this
Yeah, they
loss.
can recover.
And look at the damage dealt.
Trevor doing
with
so
the
much
Irie.
damage.
He
Yeah.
has been very efficient with using that Spirit Rush.
Yeah, the
to
way
flank.
he flanks is so impressive as well. It's just,
He knows the champion inside out.
yeah, he doesn't just go for a perpendicular flank. He knows which angle to go from.
So guys, there you have it. TME securing their first victory of the last match of the first week of the PGS. We have been your shoutcasters. I am Vulcan, and joining with me is my co-caster Atlas. Don't go away, we have our last game after the short break. We'll make it in time. Lots of investment onto Coops. Very late. GLC made it in time, but Trevor is still looking for the right time to go in. He does charm. Light, very close to death, but gets healed and barrier. He's going for a flank. Wow, that is great rotation for Trevor. Flanking in from the side. Flash is being burned from IPT. Also by Trevor trying to go away. Gulido trying to make some room.
Blast cone.
But the blast cone, yes, that's the blast cone for death. Marky is left alone. He does not have enough health. Who is it? Lights manages to stun no one. JLC, a B2 team. Light over the wall trying to burst anyone down. Kane has the terrain advantage, and TME is still running away because IPT, as I said, has the terrain to work in their favor. The Mountain Drake is very low in health.
Resetting.
Coops is gone, no smite available, and JLC goes in with a 3-man taunt. Marky will try to set up the arrows, and JLC is just not going back yet. Very close call. There's the redemption with JLC going for hate. Trevor does have the Spirit Rush, but goes instead to hate. That's not going to be enough. A shot down for the mid laner. Coming from Trevor. Now Lucky D9 is down. He's on a rampage. This is a clash under the turret. Daisy's there for the zoning, but look at the skill shot landing almost all the time.
Oh dear, this is gonna be
Marky fearless going in with a flash. There's the Cataclysm. Marky goes over the wall, hopping with the ultimate, and that's a cleanse from Hayes. Here comes the deep taunt from JLC, popping the Guardian Angel of Suzaku. Wow, Light cannot do anything. JLC is such a huge threat in the front line.
And now that's 3 inhibitors down. It seems like Marky is so hungry for
the
more turrets.
JLC is aiming to really intercept Shadow. But Suzaku. Oh, 2-man knockup. Lifts Trevor for a free skill shot range. And now here comes the redemption. That's a very narrow path with Marky smiling against IPT. Here comes the dive in by Coops with a 2-man knockup with a combo from the Demotion Standard. And with 3 members down, TME is just barging in. Hey, Cleanse is out of that charge.
And Suzaku getting caught there.
Wow, Shadow is really having a hard time. But guys, there you have it. TME securing a victory against Sisters Team IPT for the first game of our last match.
is no escape.